Okay, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Just going to remind everybody, I think most of you have, but if you haven't signed in, so please sign our visitor page. There's a motion to approve the agenda. It's a motion by Chad and a second by Josh. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0. First item is the hearing for the publishing of the 22-23 budget.
I'd like to review the amended budget that was published in the paper. This shows a $197,233 increase into the general fund. For our at-risk fund, we show an increase of $278,160. In at-risk, we need to increase our budget to meet that required transfer. I will tell you that we had to increase our local option budget also, even though our local option budget cannot be increased at this time. So a higher percentage of the local option budget will be going to at-risk. We also increased $50,000 in expenses to career and post-secondary education fund to cover expenses in that area of career and technical education. Again, there is no tax increase, and I will, if any of the board members have any questions.
While there is not a public forum tonight, there is an opportunity if anybody in the public has any questions regarding the budget and the republishing of the budget. And you are welcome to step forward if you do have any questions regarding the budget. Hearing no questions and no further comments, I would entertain a motion to approve the republished budget as presented.
I'll move.
There's a motion by Roger and a second from Allison. Any further comments, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes 7-0. Okay, moving on to the next item, disposal of surplus supplies.
We have several small items that staff has asked for dispersal of supplies or equipment that are no longer will be in use by the district. Asking permission for me to set a price and sell those items under $100. Large items will be come to the board for approval.
What kind of items, Bill?
I had a manual that we no longer use in a series that a teacher was leaving, and she was wanting to purchase that because she has notes in it. Also have some art supplies that I feel are okay. Also, I have some jerseys that I think okay, so also they asked about.
I think, if we do give that permission, I would like to make sure that the board's aware of what it is, if that list extends past.
You'll get a report of everything that's sold. I want to be able to. I've had like 3 different staff ask me at this point.
I have a thought on this that maybe we ought to delay this till after the special election on August 1st. Even though what you just said maybe won't be used, we can still, after August 1, depending on how the vote goes, still make that decision. So.
You want like through the US first, or so, like the manual thing with the notes, I don't think it's off the back.
I don't either. I just think that there's some things there that I want the superintendent to have the authority of, but maybe we ought to kind of a fine line there. There's a possibility they'll be used. Maybe we ought to slow it down a little bit. Again, you can always sell it regardless, 2 months or whatever.
Do you feel more comfortable if we say like classroom supplies?
If they can't be used by the district. I trust the superintendent to make that decision. If a manual or art supplies can't be used down the line in some other, whether this district as it stands now or whether it's disorganized, and whoever the new districts are, they can't use it. I think it's fine.
I just wanted to make sure that the staff knew that I cannot approve that without their approval. I can't sell or give away district equipment or surplus.
Maybe discretion of the superintendent with the thought of it can be used a little bit. Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with it in my mind, holding off for a couple of months until after the special election. And if it's still do what you have to do to have to, generate a revenue stream, look like it may not be very big, but have no problem with that at all. I actually don't have much of a problem now either. It's just that if there's a possibility, and there may be, may not be, some of the stuff could be used.
Would you like to formulate that into?
So you're thinking too. Any thoughts on that, Bill?
I think you could just wait until the August board meeting to make the motion.
I think that'd be the simplest thing.
And that's what I can tell the staff, but I have a couple staff that are weak. That's how I just put that out there. So I'm going to put back on in August. That's right.
We approve those tonight that you do know of.
Rather have open to everything when we get ready, because it comes down to looking at it and seeing what requested. What I use for it, what I use for district.
You want a motion to ever to delay or just?
No,
do anything?
I think we can, under consensus, have no action taken on the disposal of surplus supplies at this time, with the issue to be revisited in August. Are you good with that?
Fine.
Any further comments, questions? Okay. So moving on to item number 5, the report on the election for disorganization of the district.
At the courthouse. A summary by KSAB. After the petition has been signed and filed and the election has been set, they had to set the election between July 2nd and December 31st. The election will be held if the election on the question of disorganization and it passes. The disorganization would be effective July 1 in the year after the disorganization order from the Kansas State Board of Education. And that date would be July 1 of 2024. Once a vote in favor of disorganization occurs and an order is issued from the state board, the disorganized school district no longer exists. And in my interpretation of that, and from what I can see in statute, all buildings will be closed. Once you're disorganized, all buildings will be closed. The state board will determine how the disorganized school district property will be attached to another district or districts. As I looked at our map, it appears to me that we have a possibility of 10 school districts that touch our borders. We have some of them very small touching our borders, but it looks like we have 10 school districts that touch our border, which would be an eligibility to receive property from USD 112 that was to disorganized. Since the Kansas Unification Law in the 1960s, there is no way for a single school district to divide to create additional school districts. No additional school districts can be formed per state statute. Only existing school districts. That comes from the consolidation law of the 1960s. If the election is held on the question of disorganization and it fails, another election on this issue cannot be held for 2 years. I will be available for community meetings and wherever for information. Just contact me. I think I've had maybe 3 getting set up right now. So if any community groups or organizations would like to have a meeting, I'll make myself available for information. Remind that the Board of Education cannot approve a position for or against the question, nor can district funds be spent any way for one way or the other on this question. Does the board have questions?
you answered the majority of the questions. I did want to know, so if a no vote is cast by the majority of the district, we could pursue a land transfer if there is another interested district, since we haven't petitioned the state for that.
A no vote means USD 112 as is, and you don't lose any rights or privileges, state statute, things go just as they are now.
So if a yes vote is the majority vote, the State Board of Education, it's my understanding, would come in and hold a hearing similar to what we did in August in order to determine what districts.
Yes, I've been told that they will have hearings, they'll listen to patrons, they will more than likely ask surrounding districts, but they also said at the end of the day, they will make the decision that they think best suits the disorganization.
It won't be personal interviews other than what they might do to surrounding districts.
Right. They'll just do a hearing.
I just had a question for, what is the end game for this petition for Wilson? I never got I've had multiple answers, but where do they want to happen? I guess the question.
I don't think I have the answers to that question. And again, I think I was asked a while ago, I mean, I haven't seen the petition. I can't tell you whose signatures are on that. And I couldn't tell you the final end game is. I think that's the way you phrased it. I couldn't tell you I will tell you that the yes vote would disorganize the entire district, and the no vote would stay the same as we are.
In your educated opinion, the state has shown a movement towards countywide schools. Is that what you feel like would be likely to happen?
You know, several things have been in the legislature off and on the last 10 years, and that was a push. And I will tell you, in western Kansas, I know 4 counties in my area that are countywide. And two things I believe, that if you're going to assign territory, it's going to be reasonable distance, reasonable population. All those, they'll use all kinds of different factors, not burdening existing districts. Some type of an assignment.
And we are in 5 different counties, but they're not going to dispose of or disorganize our district as one piece. It could go into multiple districts.
No, they don't say you can't, one district can't take the whole district. That is not said. I don't believe that district would want to take the territory on the size of the district if the numbers didn't say so. I see a lot of districts not wanting that. I can see districts wanting pieces. I will tell you, evaluation is very critical. This district is very fortunate to have good evaluation.
don't you think it's reasonable that the state board take into consideration, you mentioned a number of them already, the receiving district as well as the wants of the communities involved, all that in consideration, have a hearings and so forth. And so they could go to several different, our property district right now, 112, could be split up into several different districts.
Right, and I could see, I think her question on the counties was appropriate because keep it in a reasonable distance and stuff, I can see that. I think they'll listen, the district would say, voluntarily say that we're interested in this portion of the district. I think, we should consider that. Anytime there's the property is redistributed, if there's a disorganization, there'll have to be a reorganization of the board per population, per state statute. I will tell you that is something I'll consider. If that is going to shift the population from one area of majority to another area of majority, I think we'll consider that also.
And this is all unknown. It's never happened.
Correct.
So what we
You can't predict anything.
what we summarize are what rumors or thoughts going on, they're all not valid because it's never been done.
Correct. At the end of the day, they said they're going to make the decision. The state board is going to be, they will make the decision. They'll take things into advisement. At the end of the day, they're going to make what they think is best.
So kind of as a summary or a recap, not necessarily summary at this point. I was looking at the statewide district map, and there are at least 11 other districts that are either countywide or 2/3 to 3/4 of the county. So that is something to consider. And then also, most likely, all of the buildings and attendance centers would be closed if there was a majority of votes. And it would be up to the receiving district to decide if an attendance center would be reopened or utilized. And it would be on state control and not local control if there is a majority yes vote. And if there is a majority no vote, we will continue with local control and continue to seek the best options for our district and surrounding districts. As there is interest.
You still have to pay for a general election. What's the district cost for that?
Or it's a primary. She said it would not be as significant. There's no guarantee we're going to have a primary, by the way, because we have to have so many people file for certain. You have to have a certain primary, otherwise it goes right to the general election. So we don't know at this time if there'll actually be anything else on the ballot in this question. There could be. It's a city and school primary is what that is for. So she said it would not be nearly like it would be if it was a special election. The cost will go to USD 112.
This topic refers back to the previous agenda item where the property in the 712 building was until after the August 1st election stayed.
It's up to this, from what I've been told from attorneys, it's up to the local board how they want to handle it. They're still under, the local board is under control of property until July 1 of 2024.
So if there is a majority yes vote to dissolve the district, it would be very highly unlikely that the state would still leave us intact.
Repeat that.
If there is a majority yes vote, do you think, in your educated opinion, that if the state Board of Education would leave our district intact?
No, I don't think they would at all. In fact, the whole term of disorganization means disorganization. You disorganize the whole district. 112 will cease to exist completely on the disorganization and property assignment. There's absolutely no way that they would, this would split into two, make a district and split into two. That's not going to happen either because the consolidation statute said you cannot form new districts. And that's not going to happen. Everybody has to be assigned to existing school districts. Property has to be assigned to existing school districts. Maybe small portions of school districts or districts. We have some declining school districts also in the area that would probably be interested in evaluation. A lot of school districts get funded by students. If you have declining students, you're always looking for more students to help fund your district.
On that topic, have you heard the constitutionality of SB 113? Has that been verified?
No. Ask, I assume that 13 is.
No, you gotta look for the vote.
113, I'm sorry, I thought you said district.
Sorry, SB 113.
What was the question on that?
The constitutionality of the line item veto for funding.
The line item veto, no, I haven't heard whether that's addressed. I think it's been signed, and I think I haven't heard anything at this point, so I guess it's the line item veto instead of Bill 113 will probably stand. Forgive me, those speakers are going that way.
Are there any further questions or comments? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Do we get to talk? No questions?
There is no public forum at special meetings. At our June meeting, though, you are welcome to come for public forum. There is a motion to adjourn by Josh and a second from Allison. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, everybody, for coming.